Wednesday in Atlanta. It's time for Braves baseball. We wrap up a three-game series with the suddenly rampaging St. Louis Cardinals. Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Bravos sure could use a win as we wrap up the season series with St. Louis today. Hi again, friends. Paul Burt, Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome back to the ballpark. Atlanta hopes to avoid a sweep today at the hands of the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals. Fellas, the state of play. Atlanta 5.5 games up with 11 left on the regular season schedule. And today, Joe, a very big game.
Absolutely it is, Chip. They're all big until you clinch, and the Braves are hoping to get back on the track toward that clinch right here. Here is the state of the race. They got the Cardinals today, have won 8 straight games here in Atlanta. They are tough to beat right now. And the Philadelphia Phillies come to town for a big 4-game series beginning tomorrow. They're 5.5 back. We will see Aaron Nola in one of those games. The New York Mets are one of those teams that nobody wants to play right now. They're playing one of their best stretches of the year. And you never know who you might run into there. Syndergaard, DeGrom might be a very tough series, and finish up at Philadelphia. Let's hope everything's already clinched by the time the team gets there.
And to get where the Braves want to go, it really is quite simple. It comes down to pitching. And, fellas, 2 really good young right-handers get after it today. Paul, first for the Braves, Touki Toussaint pitches for Atlanta.
I love this matchup. Touki Toussaint, don't forget about the U. He is coming to his own this year. Slider is electric. Very good changeup that he throws with a split grip that you're going to see right here. It's going to go straight down, nasty. Drafted 16th overall, a great young pitcher, and let's face it, today we need him.
One of the best pitchers in the organization, certainly, and a lot of pressure on this kid. And he's drawn a tough matchup himself against a good young pitcher. Himself only 22 years old, and that's Jack Flaherty. This guy has pitched really well for the Cardinals all year long. He was a 34th pick in the draft in 2014. His last 8 starts, he's gone 4-1. He has only 1 loss since July 31st, and that was his last time out against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He went 6 innings, only gave up 1 run, and that was on a homer. So he pitched great. He got no run support, but you can see that 155 average against him over the last 8. He's been mighty tough.
High school teammate of Max Fried and Lucas Giolito out on the West Coast. That's pretty good high school staff, wouldn't you say? So, Kelsey, real simple for the Braves. They've got a 5.5 game lead in the divisional race. They have 11 games left. They have a lot of action left with the Phillies. What's the mood in the Braves clubhouse this afternoon?
Well, yeah, you know, after the game last night, Chip, nobody's happy that they've lost 4 straight. But at the same time, you have to realize that they are just 4 games removed from that 6-game winning streak that they have. And, you know, everybody's just trying to calm down in there. Like you said, there's still 5.5 games up in the NL East. So they've put themselves in a great position. And now they have to just go out there and do what they've been able to do all season. So I think it's just a sense of trying to not hit that panic button and realize what they've done. So we've talked to you before about the notes that Ron Washington leaves in their lockers. Well, today he put the attitude, commitment, effort, and it says, we are still the best team in the NL East. That's something that Freddy Freeman told us after the game last night. I think that's a reminder that everybody needs, that this team, like you mentioned, still 5.5 games up. They just need to settle down, do what they have done all year. So let's hear from Brian Snitker and the leader in the clubhouse, Freddy Freeman, on their mindset right now.
We've been down this road before, and a few times this year, and you know, and it's just, all it takes is one game to get you rolling and get you back on a run. And you know, we've been resilient. We've come back before. There's no reason to think we won't do it again.
So we're still 5.5 games in first place. People got to remember that. So we just got to go out there and play good baseball tomorrow.
It's baseball, 162 games. Stretches like this are going to happen. They have happened all year, where the Braves have a rough series, whether it be to the Red Sox or the Rockies, and Atlanta is able to come back, and hopefully they'll be able to start setting the tone here today in the series finale versus the Cardinals. You guys, it is Touki time. Touki Toussaint taking the mound in the series finale versus the Cardinals as the Braves try to continue to lower that magic number. We'll lead you up to first pitch in a couple of minutes.
Presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
Afternoon in Atlanta. As we take a look at today's Checkers weather report, that temperature might be a little optimistic. It feels a lot hotter than 84 degrees, but hopefully the Braves can get as hot as the temperatures here at SunTrust Park. They need a win. It's been a struggle of late here at home for Atlanta as they try to cool off the suddenly smoking hot St. Louis Cardinals. Mike Shildt is their manager. His Toyota starting lineup features Kolten Wong leading off. Jose Martinez in right. Paul DeYoung's had a big series. He's the shortstop. Ozuna, Jerko, Molina back in the lineup today. Adams, Bader, and Flaherty the lower third against Touki Toussaint, the Braves starter today.
He's come out of the pen at times. That's his number as a starter. He has pitched very well as a starter. September, Arizona last start on the 9th. He walked 5 and 5.2 innings, so he's going to look to improve on that. And that is your Atlanta Braves organizational pitcher of the year for the minors.
And just as you said, Paul, his 4 keys to pitching success today: no free base runners. Don't let anybody on that doesn't earn it. And I think one of the keys to prevent all those walks is pitch inside, make them aware that you will pitch inside, to use that good slider and get some swings.
So Touki, starting out of the stretch, delivers outside to Kolten Wong, and we are underway. Different look for the Cardinals lineup. No Matt Carpenter today. Carpenter's in the midst of a offensive slide. So it's Kolten Wong leading off, and he drives one in the air toward left. Acuna on the run, still going, slows and makes the play for out number 1. One thing the Cardinals talked about in their newspaper in St. Louis was how the ball is carrying here. They have described this ballpark as very hitterish. We certainly have seen that. The Cardinals have hit 5 home runs in this series, and the most important thing from the Cardinals perspective, don't walk anybody, to Joe's point, with the ball traveling and carrying here in Atlanta. So here's Jose Martinez. 16 homers for him, 80 RBIs. He has 3 hits in the series. And there's one of those inside pitches, ball 1.
Even though it wasn't a strike, I agree with Joe. It served a purpose, and everybody says he will come in. If he can command the inside part of the plate, even better. If he can't, you still got to throw there.
Jim Wolf said that one's a strike, and it's even. 1-1 your count.
DJ Rayburn, Sam Holbrook, and Vic Carapazza are the base umpires for Game 3. And another one well off target, ball 2. Martinez a couple of hits last night. And
Big S took a hit.
And that's up and in. 3 balls and a strike. So the first 3-ball count for Tukey, and he delivers. And that is foul at third.
They have been hacking at every 3-0 count and 3-1 count like they don't get another chance.
As you said, it's not just one player, it's everybody. That's unusual.
So a full count for Martinez. And inside, ball 4. So there's one of those free passes we hope to avoid. Martinez aboard with 1 out. And if there has been an issue for Tukey his last couple of appearances, guys, it has been walks.
That's 10 in his last 7 innings.
Little surprised at that pitch selection right there. That's a full count changeup. He throws the split change, and a righty on righty, not always easy to throw.
So here's Paul DeYoung, the Cardinals shortstop. He has been very destructive in this series. Talking about the home run balls. He's hit 2 of the Cardinals homers in the series. And you may not know this, but Paul DeYoung among the league leaders in RBIs since the All-Star break. He's knocked in 43 of them. That's why the Cardinals have him hitting third. Martinez not a threat to steal, and that misses down and in, ball 2.
An interesting note on Toussaint today, provided by some numbers that Chan Hartsock gave me before the game. He has not given up a hit to the number 2 or number 3 hitter in the lineup, period, at any point.
Hope that continues today as he sets with a 2-0. And there's a good slider. 2 balls and a strike. Braves await the Phillies here tomorrow night. St. Louis heads home for 3 with the Giants and 3 big games with Milwaukee. They finish the season on the road against the Cubs. The pitch. Got the inside corner. Good spot.
I think by and large Jim Wolf's a good pitcher's umpire. He's generous. We'll see if that is the case today.
Well, he has to be. His brother Randy used to pitch, and if Jim didn't call strikes, he'd probably punch him out.
Yep.
2-2. He is grounded toward third. Second base, 1 on to first. It's a double play, and Tukey pitches around the 1-out walk. There's a good start for the young right-hander. Braves coming up in the bottom of the scoreless first. Starting lineup for Braves skipper Brian Snitker. It's a lineup that has changed. Ender Inciarte has moved back to the #2 spot. Ozzie Albies hitting 6th. Tyler Flowers 7th. Dansby Swanson is back at shortstop, and the Cardinals are running out another rookie of their own, Jack Flaherty, who right now, Paul, might be their best starter.
Absolutely. He has been lights out like Mikolas. He is one of their top starters, and look at those strikeout numbers. Absolutely outstanding for a rookie, 22 years old. Like I said, he is outstanding.
One thing to keep an eye on with Mr. Flaherty is that he is not afraid to pitch inside. He will pound the inner part of the zone to both sides of the plate, and he's hit 10 guys this year, which is second only to Carlos Martinez's 11 hit batters on their staff. Nothing shy about this guy.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Cardinals draft picks, 4th round, 5th round, 11th round. Flaherty's not one of those guys. He's a former #1 pick. Cardinals acquired a compensation draft choice when Carlos Beltran was signed by the Yankees, and this is the man they took. Jack Flaherty, all of 22 years old, 8-7 on the year. And a swing and a miss at a breaking ball for Acuna. A slider, strike 1.
And that's supposed to be his out pitch.
That's it. Wipeout slider, one of the best in the league, and when the scouting report says that for a 22-year-old who just got here, that's really saying something.
No balls and a strike. And he follows that up with a good 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Now that fastball will run just a hair, but it can be straight. He works 4 corners, so he can give up the home run at times.
Strike 3 over the outside corner. Slider and then 2 fastballs. That one shaved a corner, and Acuna is caught looking. 1 up, 1 down.
Young players, young pitchers especially, I always look to see who they remind me of when I've never seen them before. And immediately on his second windup, I thought of John Smoltz. Real slow step back, high leg kick, and then boom.
Did he have a good slider?
Somewhat.
Here's Ender back in the 2 spot for Atlanta. 1 for 7 at the plate in the series, and it's nothing but strikes for Flaherty to start his day. Flaherty went 4-0 with a 1.13 ERA in August. And leads all National League rookies with 169 strikeouts. And in fact, Cardinals had an amazing note on this kid. Mr. Flaherty has more strikeouts in his first 31 big league games than any other Cardinal in their team's history. Think about that.
That's some select company.
We're talking Dizzy Dean. We're talking Steve Carlton.
Yeah.
Bob Forsch.
Gibbsy.
Bob Gibson. So the Braves will have their hands full with this young man today, and he's thrown 6 strikes to the first 2 Braves hitters and make it 7. A swing and a miss.
Back door on that one. Not sure that was a slider. Looked more like a curveball, and it was.
Well, look how Yadier Molina caught that ball, like he was holding a frying pan just to receive the baseball.
Well, your prediction proved true too, Chip. Molina's back out there, day game after a night game.
Simply amazing. Here's Freddy, 5 for 10 in the series. A homer, 2 RBIs. No shift for the Cardinals, as there's the first errant pitch from Flaherty here in the first inning. A lot of school kids at the ballpark today. You can hear them chanting in the upper deck.
Had a science day here today before the game.
Chanting Freddy. That's got to feel good.
2 balls, no strikes. Base is empty. Flaherty turns it loose. And it's launched down the left field line, but curling into the stands. And it's now 2 balls and a strike.
You guys mentioned Bob Gibson. As you know, he texts with Bob Gibson. Bob says he doesn't like to text. When I ask, what do you guys text about? He says, none of your business.
2-1 pitch. And a little roller is out of play, foul.
Like I said, nothing shy about him.
No.
But apparently at their Hall of Fame ceremonies in St. Louis, Gibson sought him out and said he told Flaherty, I like the way you pitch.
And if that doesn't make you feel like you're the king of the hill, nothing will.
Right.
2 balls, 2 strikes. In fact, the Cardinals media guy this year celebrates Bob Gibson. This is the 50th anniversary of Bob Gibson's 1968 season that saw him finish the year with a 1.12 ERA. And the following season, they lowered the mound to give the hitters a chance.
Changed the game.
The 3-2 pitch is rifled into right field, a base hit for Freddy. So Freeman has his 6th hit of the series. It comes with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Nick Markakis.
Fastball in, Freeman turns on it. I go back to what I said game 1 of this series. It doesn't matter who's on the mound. The ace, the 5th starter, a closer, Freddy Freeman can hit anybody. Flaherty off to a good start, but Mr. Freeman with a tough at bat, some foul balls, and then got a pitch that he could hit.
So as the late great Bob Murphy of the Mets would have said, there goes the no-hitter with 2 outs in the 1st. And Markakis, the batter, with a .306 average. Freddy has a good lead. Not going anywhere. The pitch is jammed and hit towards second. Wong will flip to DeYoung at second. And that's the inning. No runs, a hit, a man left, a scoreless first under our belts at SunTrust Park.
Takes the mound for his 2nd inning of work for the Braves, and he did have that relief appearance where he didn't look as crisp as usual, and I asked him what the biggest takeaways from that was, and he said you just have to come in there and get outs. He said he felt that he put too much pressure on himself whenever he got in there, and I asked him the difference for him between starting and coming out of the bullpen, and he said when you're starting, you're learning how to manage that lineup, but when you come out of the bullpen, you just have to come in and get outs. There's no time to manage that lineup, make any mistakes. You come in and do your job. And you guys, he says that's something that he's still working on because he's very aware that there's a possibility that if the Braves make the postseason, that could be his role.
So he is truly learning on the fly, Kelsey, in all facets of the game at the major league level. As this one's lined to third, Ozuna smokes one, but Camargo dives to the third base line to make the play, and Marcel is retired for the 1st out of the inning.
That was great stuff, Kelsey. You see the hard line drive, Camargo with the snag. What he means by navigating a lineup, you may pitch a guy differently if you know you have to face them 2 and 3 times versus coming out of the pen. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, here's my slider, deal with it. Whereas when you're starting, you may approach that differently. I'll save that slider for later.
Yeah, and I would assume as a starter, you'd prefer not to show all your pitches the first time and a half through the lineup.
No, and a general rule, you want to establish in early. You want to get guys out with fastballs. You're going to throw your secondary and third pitches, but you want to establish that good fastball and command it, and after that, you can do anything you want.
That's looped toward left, but hooking into the seats, foul by Jed Jerko, the St. Louis third baseman. Jerko's 1 for 7 in this series, but his bat's coming to life. He's got a hit in 10 of his last 11 starts at the hot corner. Braves struck him out twice last night. And Tukey again missed inside there, ball 2. It's just amazing to me how many terrific young players we are seeing blossoming in the major leagues. It seems to me, maybe as I've gotten older, where these guys seem so much younger.
Right.
But how many really good players are pitching meaningful innings, playing meaningful games for clubs that are in postseason contention? It's so great for the game. We saw that with Washington. We're seeing it with the Braves and Cardinals in this series too.
Chip, most of the time, for years, there might have been an isolated player or two who came up and was unfazed. And most of those guys, and I'll use Ken Griffey Jr. as an example, he grew up in the clubhouse and around major leagues his whole life. It wasn't a big deal to him to play in a game, and it was an easy adaptation for him. But everybody else, other people, other players who didn't have that luxury, there's a certain nervousness, fear factor, if you will, tension. You don't want to do anything to embarrass yourself or your team. You want to show everybody what you can do. These guys are coming up now like it's an American Legion game.
Well, how many times did you hear in your early days as a major league player, rookies are seen and not heard? Right? I mean, well, that was the age-old thing in baseball for 100 years. That is not the case now.
Well, to your point, there was an isolated player or two who would come up and do things like we're seeing, but not across the board. You know, 20, 25 guys, pitching, position players, whatever it might be. They are conditioned and ready for this. It's amazing.
And so that led me to my next question for you two. How does this happen? How does this happen so quickly, seemingly generationally? It's like it's happened in the blink of an eye, a flip of a switch in the last 5-6 years, where so many have come up. Bryants and Rizzos and Harpers and Arenados and the like. As that strike 3 to Jerko. He was on his way to first base, but he's the first punch out for Tukey today.
Chip, I wish I had the answer to that question definitively. We talked about the training being better. We talked about people being bigger, stronger, faster. That's the one thing that I've noticed the difference is the talent, how fast guys are. We got Acuna throwing the ball in 100. We got relievers throwing 102. Like, I see that every other series. And everybody's throwing in the upper 90s, so the talent level is different for me.
I'll give you another possibility, Chip. Naturally, there was one game a week on TV when I was a kid, the CBS Game of the Week, Dizzy Dean, Pee Wee Reese. That's all we saw if you weren't in a major league city. I played in the third major league game I ever saw. So there was an intimidation factor there that, oh my gosh, you know, look where I am. These guys are seeing baseball games 2 or 3 a night if they want to. It's not a big deal to them.
I do think it was a little harder to get to the big leagues when I played. I got there and I was 24 years old and everyone was talking about how young I was. Well, you know, now 22, 21, 20, that's...
Yeah, what was wrong with you? Were you hurt?
Right.
What slowed you down?
Right.
Yeah, or yeah, you're a college player, so it took you a little extra time to get into the professional ranks.
Well, it was very rare. Take, for instance, Tukey, who was an A-ball, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Tukey's organizational pitcher of the year, but that was very, very unusual. I remember when Furcal did it, made that jump, but those kinds of stories were very rare, not so much anymore. They wanted you to experience success at each level and go up the ladder.
Matt Adams hits with a man aboard, and a swing and a miss for the former Brave, who played 100 games for Atlanta last year and hit 13 home runs in this ballpark. He's a very dangerous man in this spot with Molina aboard after another walk, this one with 2 outs. So it's just so great for the game. That's the phrase I keep using. To see these young players coming up and bursting on the scene and adding to what's already been a tremendous mix of already great young players. Harper, Bryant, Rizzo, Arenado, Story, Bellinger, Seager. I mean, the list goes on and on. Michael Conforto for the Mets, who's having an unbelievable September. This game is as healthy as it's ever been, and the future appears very, very bright. And that's great news for baseball fans everywhere. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a late call third by Jim Wolf. Matt Adams caught looking. And Tukey has his second strikeout to go along with 2 walks, but most importantly, 2 scoreless innings. All the spots where they tried to hang the signs, and when in doubt, just grab a little caulk, and with a friendly foot you can hang the signs back up on the wall.
Nuke LaLoosh hit the bull. Tukey hit the S. He's damaging property. That fastball's so good.
So a slight delay here as we get set for the home second. Jack Flaherty struck out the first 2 Braves he faced. Freeman with a single. Markakis grounded out. And Johan Camargo leads off the second. No score. Camargo, Albies, and Tyler Flowers, the trio due up here for the Braves in Game 3 of the series. Atlanta trying to get back above 500 on their home turf. The Braves enter play today 38-38 at SunTrust Park. Johan, a .272 hitter, 18 homers, 70 runs batted in. Boy, Joe, you're right. That's smooth, easy motion, and then bang. That mid-90s fastball looks to be on you quick.
6'4", 225. They're growing them big these days, too. He's got some weapons, doesn't he, Paul?
He does, and we talked about talent level, which we see. We don't always see guys that can pitch. He can pitch. He can throw to 4 corners. Dynamite breaking ball, mixes his pitches. I'm with you. I like his mechanics.
You know, teams that aren't in the Braves division, you're only seeing them home and road. You're seeing them 6, maybe 7 games a year, and there's a good chance you may not see all their pitchers over those 7 games. So this is our first look at him, and he's obviously worthy of what people have been saying about him.
That one jammed Johan, and it's sliced out of play and into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You hear about people, and you hear national network stuff talk about him. Guys talk about a player, But until you see them for yourself, you don't really have anything to measure it by.
One-two pitch. Served out of play again.
Well, if he likes to pitch inside, which it appears that he does, and Camargo's right on top of the plate, Johan's going to see a lot of pitches like that today.
And maybe he'll get hit by one. As you said, he's hit 10 batters this year. 1-2 pitch is caught on and missed. A swing and a miss for Camargo is the third strikeout for Flaherty today. And that's how the home second starts.
He's going from 94 to 78 on that curveball.
And that'll bring up Ozzie Albies.
This guy's given up 1 run or less. That would mean 0 in 15 of his 26 starts. And yes, he's a rookie.
And entering today, 53 strikeouts in 42 innings pitched in the daylight. I can see why that would be a problem.
Yeah, he's 4-1 in day games. 2.14 ERA.
Ozzie's 1 for 7 in the series, batting 6th again for Atlanta. And a pop up left side. Jerko in foul ground over near the tarp. Has room on the track. 2 outs.
The first run's going to mean a lot today for somebody.
And here's Tyler Flowers. Bright sunshine beaming into our booth, which means it's beaming in for the hitters and such. You've noticed there's appearing to be a sheen on the infield and outfield grass. Tough to pick up the ball. How are the conditions for the hitters? Are they an issue with this 12-10 start?
I'm looking at the shadows. When Tyler stands in here to get ready to hit, his shadow is directly behind him. Look at Flaherty. The shadow is directly in line with home plate. So that sun is coming in from behind the pitcher. Going to be a lot of squinting and a lot of guys hitting with shades on today.
Normal day game, general rule, not a 12 o'clock start. Do hitters see the ball better?
I always did. I love day games. Most players will tell you of this era, they don't. They're used to playing at night.
That's off the plate, ball 2. So optimal conditions for the pitchers in the early going at SunTrust. 12-10 start. Braves have the only hit. And that's corked down the line foul. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's another guy whose windup is similar to this one, and that's Max Scherzer. The way Flaherty kind of steps to the first base side of the rubber and kicks and delivers. Drops his hand down behind his head on the windup.
No swing. And Flowers will have a full count. Well, if you're compared to John Smoltz and Max Scherzer, I think you're probably doing a lot of things right.
That's all right, isn't it?
So the payoff pitch. And Flowers had that covered, fouled it back. This young man isn't perfect. He will walk you. He has issued 52 of those this year. Still over a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. But he's only given up 96 hits in 140 innings.
Minor leagues, he was 29-17 in his career with a 2.77 ERA. Last year he went 14-4 between AA and AAA.
Tyler Flowers is rung up on a check swing, and that will retire the side. 4 strikeouts for Flaherty. Touki Toussaint has 2, and we go to a scoreless 3rd inning. 2.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies, who come to town here tomorrow night for a big 4-game series. In 2018 postseason, single game tickets are now on sale. To get the best seats for the biggest moments this October, head to Braves.com/postseason and reserve your seats today. The magic number for Atlanta is 7. Any combination of Braves wins and Phillies losses totaling 7 eliminates Philadelphia. I believe Atlanta's magic number to eliminate Washington is 5. So the Braves, with an afternoon game today, can post the first score. The Phillies host the Mets later on tonight. Zach Eflin and Noah Syndergaard square off at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time. So Touki Toussaint's had a couple of base runners in today's game. One erased on a double play. Molina left stranded in the second. Harrison Bader leads off and takes a breaking ball that plunked him in the helmet. He tried to duck out of the way, and he'll take first base.
Tuki's been missing arm side a lot today.
That's very similar to the one that plunked Dansby Swanson last week, where he was kind of ducking out of the way and the ball just kept chasing him in the breaker.
It was a 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and Bader's going to stay in the game after Mike Shildt, the Cardinals trainer, out to talk to him. Remember when Dansby got hit, he wanted to stay in the game but had to come out. There is a very strict concussion protocol that the athletic trainers adhered to, and if any of those symptoms arise, they are obligated to get the player out of the game. And apparently Bader has passed those protocols here. So here's Flaherty. He's sacrificed successfully 4 times. So 2 walks and a hit batsman allowed by Toussaint. Margot creeps in at third, and a throw back to first where Bader stands. Got to keep an eye on him. He might try a straight steal. He's done that 15 times and has been caught just 3 times. There's the bunt, but it's foul. A strike.
He's put down 4 of them, but just 6 for 41 on the year as a hitter. This guy was going to go to the University of North Carolina, even though he's a Southern California kid.
No balls and a strike. Bunted foul again, 0-2. I think he would have been teammates with Bryce Wilson then. Wasn't Bryce headed to play baseball with the Tar Heels?
I believe so.
As we said, Flaherty out of Harvard Westlake High School out in California, teammates with Lucas Giolito and Max Fried.
He was a couple of years behind them, but put together an unbelievable high school record.
He didn't lose his last 2 years.
Yeah.
See if the bunt's still on with 2 strikes. It wasn't, and the fastball missed high. 1-2. One of Joe's keys: avoid free base runners. Cardinals have gotten 3 of them so far in the game. So far, Tuki's been able to minimize the damage. As Bader measures off a big lead and is chased back. Joe talked about it in the first game of the series. Cardinals, by and large, aren't a great running team. They're in the low 60s in stolen bases, but they've been caught 31 times. So that has not been a very high percentage play for Mike Shildt or his predecessor, Mike Matheny, this year. There's another breaking ball missed to the pitcher. This one 2-2 now. Mike Shildt's done an amazing job. The Cardinals are 36-22 since the All-Star break. And now have a 1.5 game lead over the Rockies for the second wild card. trying to chase down the Brewers. And strike three. Flaherty can't get a butt down, and he's the third strikeout victim for Tukey. 1 on, 1 out, and back to the top of the order.
Nice fastball at the knees from Tukey. That was excellent. You talk about Mike Schilt. I was talking to Dexter Fowler earlier today and said he is a phenomenal communicator. I said, tell me what that means. And he said, well, he goes, he's make sure that you come and talk to him. He doesn't just talk to you, but he wants you coming in and talking to him as well. It goes both ways. It's an open door policy, and that's what that team needed.
Yeah, they go so far as to have a daily meeting. And it's not to go over just X's and O's and pitching matchups and hitter spray charts. It's kind of an accountability meeting. What did we do well yesterday? What do we need to work on today and going forward? So that goes right into your communication theme, Paul. As this one's hit on the ground to Freddy. Nice pick. Second one on to first. Tukey got to the bag. It's another double play. St. Louis has hit the 2 double plays in the first 3 innings, and we go to the home third. Good duel. No score.
Southeast is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Scoreless game time for the home third. The Braves have the game's only hit, that courtesy of Freddy Freeman, Dansby Swanson, Tukey Toussaint, and Ronald Acuna. Would love to shake hands with Eric Young Sr., the Braves' first base coach, who is ready to go today. He's our Geico this date in baseball history. In 2006, Eric played his final game in the big leagues. On September the 19th, he finished his career with 1,730 games, 1,731 hits, 465 stolen bases, an all-star Silver Slugger winner in '96 with the Rockies when he led the National League with 53 stolen bases.
Terrific career. Knows his stuff.
I agree. Not only a great career, but an excellent coach who has made this team better by forcing them to get out of the box. It started in spring training when he stood on the back of the bag and he would yell, "Cut, cut," as they rounded the bag. And is a noticeable difference in the way the Braves run the bases this year.
Talk about guys who had to work their way up through the professional ranks as a player. As Dansby takes a strike. Eric Young was a 43rd round pick. Turned into an all-star and arguably one of the most popular players, well, not even arguably, one of the most popular players in Colorado history. I think he hit their first home run as a major league franchise. As Dansby takes another strike from Jim Wolf. It's a big strike zone on this quick turnaround day. Flaherty's already struck out 4 men. Tukey has retired 3 on strikes.
So far, Flaherty 7 out of 8 in first pitch strikes, all looking.
It's tough to hit what you can't see. The 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed, and that's 5 strikeouts for Flaherty.
Something else about the sun today, guys. I'm assuming this late in the baseball season, we've had other 12 o'clock starts where we didn't notice this, and it's just time of the year where the sun's a little lower, perhaps, that might be causing that.
So let's see what Tukey can do. He's 1 for 6 at the plate.
I'd go into axis and tilt and all that, but I don't want to make you guys upset at
got a couple
science.
Got a couple of SEC guys over here. That might be way over our heads.
It was Science Day today.
Yes, it was.
That was.
You got out of your costume in great shape to get up here for the Open. That was terrific work.
I had a best time I had was shaking up that quart of Coke and making it spew. You know, volcano.
Oh
trick.
yeah. That's one of the great tricks of all time. The pitch. Heck, I majored in that at Georgia. You put a pack of Mentos in a 2-liter bottle of Coke. You can have a lot of fun. So you kids at home watching the game while your parents are at work, why don't you try that? See if it works out. The 2-1 pitch. It's now 2-2.
And what was it you majored in?
You got it. No score after 2.5. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Tukey, and Flaherty delivers and just missed. You know, we've talked a lot about Yadier Molina in this series. I don't think I've seen a single Cardinal pitcher shake him off. I mean, why would you? This one's put in play and hit toward Martinez in right. And that's one of the hardest hit balls for the Braves so far, but that's the second out.
That's probably because you don't want to have the wrath that's going to hit you in the dugout if you shake him off.
So there's Ronald Acuna Jr. He's our leadoff man today and our SunTrust Confidence Player of the game.
Does it on the road, does it at home, does it everywhere.
Yep. He struck out to start the game. As Flaherty back to work with 2 outs. And this one on the ground to short. DeYoung scoops it up, and the throw to first is in time. 3 up, 3 down. Our scoreless duel heads to the 4th inning.
The Georgia Lottery. And by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by always wearing your seatbelt.
Yadier Molina catches everything, including the Braves' lovable mascot, Blooper. Here at SunTrust Park. Blooper is going to have a hot day today.
Woo.
So to the fourth we go, no score. Joe Simpson, Paul Bird, Kelsey Winkert, Chip Carey with you at SunTrust. Touki Toussaint has issued a couple of walks. He's hit a batter, but the Braves have turned 2 double plays behind him to help keep the game scoreless. Let's see what happens the second time through the order with Martinez, DeYoung, and Marcell Ozuna coming up. Martinez walked in the opening frame. And that caught it inside corner.
You know what Touki did better on that? Now he's got long arms, and when you're a pitcher that has long arms, you got to get it started earlier or your arm will be late. He has been late on a lot of fastballs in and missed arm side with previous pitches. That one he was on time.
Line to right and right at Markakis. 1 out. Is that something you can feel on the mound, Paul, when you're ever so slightly early or late?
Sometimes. It's easier to do when you've been pitching longer. He's 22 years old, so you want your catcher or your pitching coach to remind you of this. It starts in the pen. It gets to the game. You do things differently in the game and the pen sometimes because you reach a new level. So you need to have a few people who know you looking at your checkpoints.
Paul DeYoung hit into a double play his first time up, and there's that inside corner call to strike. So that was the other key for Touki. Pitch inside. He's certainly done that in the game. Popped up. Long run for Freeman. Ozzie will join him. Markakis over. Freddy in right field, can't hang on. Tried to make a basket catch and it popped away from him. So no play. It'll be a swing on the house for DeYoung, but that play costs him strike 2.
Well, Freddie had to run a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles here, and the fact that he didn't catch it still irritated him. Takes a lot of pride in his defense, and he's really good on those plays, running with his back to home plate.
Ozzie, Markakis, and Freddie running over there, and it was in the Bermuda Triangle, perfectly placed. Tough play for any of them.
So it's 0-2 for the St. Louis shortstop. And Touki picks up Freddie and blows away DeYoung. That's his 4th strikeout. Tell you what,
pretty good exhibition going on here.
These guys are dealing.
Excellent fastball up in the zone. That is some noise. We also call that upper cheddar, and somebody forgot to bring the crackers.
Oh,
you like that?
Yeah, I did. You said noise. I was thinking of the as
yes.
it goes by.
A day game, harder to see at times because of the sun. Early 12 o'clocker turns into noise.
Here's Marcell Ozuna. His bat tried to make some noise in the second. A screaming line drive that Camargo speared to third base for the first out of the second inning. Inside out swing, and that'll be dumped into right field. Little pitching wedge shot to right by Ozuna. In fact, that ball made a divot. I don't know, 20 feet in front of Markakis.
I don't know if I've ever seen him hit the ball that way,
no.
even accidentally.
Jammed him, fastball down and in, overmatched him.
If he gets under that just a little bit, it's a harmless fly out. Instead, it's the first Cardinals hit. So here's Jerko. He was struck out looking in the second inning. Jerko 1 for 8 now in the series. And a good choice there. A curveball for a strike. Splitter 0-2.
Jerko's going to get the head of the bat out there. Just a matter if you happen to put it where his, especially with the fastball, where he's swinging, he's going to hit it hard.
Great pitch to him right there. Something that looks like a fastball that isn't.
Jerko, a former San Diego Padre. This is his 3rd season with the Cardinals. The 1-2 pitch. Now back. First year in St. Louis was 2016. Hit 30 homers. Last year 20 homers. Drove in 67.
Now the word in San Diego was after he had that big year and they gave him a terrific contract for a young player, he started reading his press clippings a little bit and wasn't playing as well, wasn't working as hard, and they sent him back to AAA. May have gotten his attention by doing that.
Remember, he was a second baseman with San Diego. And big time power. The pitch is rolled foul.
We were talking earlier about the difference in players coming up, talent, and among other things. Do you feel that today's player swings harder all the time?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
You don't see as many 2-strike approaches?
No.
Launch angle, man.
And you don't see guys ever choke up behind in the count. Everybody's on the knob or off the knob of the bat. Every swing is the same. Every count is the same to them. Very few guys make that adjustment to take a little off their swing and try to put it in play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And there's a shot to left field, a base hit. So good at bat by Jerko. And back-to-back hits for the Cardinals with 2 outs. And now Atlanta has to face Molina again in a run-scoring spot. And we saw this last night. What a dangerous hitter he is with runners in scoring position. And as Joe said a moment ago, the first run in this game is going to be a very, very big run. Let's hope it doesn't come here off the bat of Molina. It was Molina versus Sam Freeman last night. 2 former teammates. Freeman with a wry smile as he and Molina locked horns, and Yadier singled on a 2-2 pitch. That brought home 2 runs, and after an error in left, the bases were cleared and the Cardinals were on their way to an 8-1 win. And that one struck foul and into the seats. 0-1.
The last couple of years when we've seen the Cardinals, whether it was from fatigue, injury, whatever, Yadi Molina was not swinging the bat anywhere near as well as he's swinging it right now.
Remember, this man's 36 years old. He started 28 consecutive days for the Cardinals earlier this year. He's playing with a terrible left hamstring. He's playing in a 12-10 game. The night after we had a long game last night. I would guess that Molina's philosophy is I will rest whenever the season ends.
Well, he got an inning off last night.
That's true. He did. He did. With Francisco Pena taking over for him. 1-1 pitch, runners go. Molina takes the strike. The Cardinals get 2 bases.
What happened there?
A double steal.
I mean, there wasn't even a throw.
Can't answer that.
I guess right.
So here's a real dangerous scenario as Molina fouls one back. St. Louis now with 2 runners in scoring position after the 2-out double steal. And Molina faces a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
As a pitcher, you remind yourself you have 2 outs. You don't get upset over the double steal. You have to execute your pitch, lock in. It all goes away when you execute your pitch.
Swing and a miss. Toussaint works out of it.
Didn't matter.
Gives up back-to-back 2-out hits and then strikes out Molina for his 5th punch out of the game. We go to the home 4th. Still no score.
Out Tuki Toussaint talking about how he became in a pattern. He came to be a pattern where they were able to get the jump. He said, it's on me. They got a great jump. I'll try to do better.
So nice accountability from the Braves kid pitcher. He'll head down the tunnel and sit in the air-conditioned comfort down by the batting cages as the 2, 3, and 4 hitters are coming up for the Braves. The 4th inning for Atlanta will start with center fielder Ender Inciarte, who struck out his first time up. Ender is our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Last 10 games, good numbers, 5 extra base hits mixed in there. Hopefully learned a little something on Flaherty for this 2nd time through the order. He's been very good, Flaherty.
A lot of first pitch strikes. And another one here for Ender as we start the 4th inning of a scoreless game. Braves and Cardinals. Braves swept St. Louis earlier this year. Cardinals have come to Atlanta and won the first 2 at SunTrust. Swung late there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This fastball has set up everything though today. He's got everybody thinking about the heater. Best one, 95 right there.
And that pitch right there, 6 inches off the plate, that's the same location he will throw his backdoor slider, which will cause problems.
So a nice take there makes it a 3-2 count for Ender.
If you can throw that backdoor slider away to lefties successfully, you expand the zone. Now you got to respect it, and the fastball off the plate can look like the slider.
That's how the play. We'll do it again. 47 pitches for Flaherty so far, only 15 balls. Right back where it came from and into center field. So there's the second Atlanta hit. It's a leadoff single for Ender.
Excellent start to the inning. Good at bat by Ender after falling behind.
Absolutely. Fastball away, had a little bit of cut to it, and Ender stays on target, doesn't try to do too much, and works it up the middle.
So Freddie Freeman has the other Braves hit. That one came with 2 outs in the first inning.
Kevin Seitzer in Arizona created a different routine for Freddie to get him out of his head and thinking too much, and he used an L screen, put it in the cage, and he put it over by the net. And he scooted Freddie over to the net, and it made him stay tall, short, and stay inside the baseball.
Fly ball well hit left center field. Bader on the run at the track. It's out of here. Have the Braves needed that from Freddie Freeman? A 2-run homer, and Atlanta strikes first.
Good timing on that point, Paul, because that's exactly what it does. By standing close to the screen, there's not a big follow through. You're short, quick, and thinking more left center. And where'd he hit it? Left central.
Absolutely beautiful barrel on the baseball. Stayed short. Seitz happy with that swing, I'm sure, but really shortened him up. They play a game every day with that. Doesn't take BP right now. Other than that short toss, change it up a little bit. He's not hitting off the tee, so he's changed his routine, and that's helped him get out of the funk. He has been outstanding this whole series.
Second home run. As Markakis takes downstairs, 1-1.
So you see the white line on the very bottom of the screen. Freddie has to stand right there. Seitz stands behind the net and flips underneath, soft toss. And if Freddie takes a long swing, his bat will hit the net. Freddie's goal, of course, is to hit the ball through that 2 feet narrow opening up the middle, and that has got him back on track. Joe, you can tell us what that does.
Well, we just saw what it does. Makes you stay on the ball and hit it that way. If you're long and going out around the baseball and trying to pull it, like I said, you hit the net.
Now Markakis with a bouncer towards second. Awkwardly handled by Kolten Wong, but he stayed with it for the first out. But the result for Freddie Freeman is one thing, his 23rd home run. As you said, guys, the direction that he hit the ball is classic textbook Freddie Freeman. When he hits the ball with authority that way, that's exactly what he's trying to do with every one of his pitches that he swings at. And if he starts getting hot now, well, obviously the Braves are going to be very happy with the results.
And you can't do that, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, with everybody. It may be a different drill for someone else that gets them going, but I love how Seitz shakes it up and knows each one of his players. With Ender, it's the high string drill in the bottom of the top of the cage to the bottom. Freddie doesn't like that. So he's found a new game to get him on track, and everybody is individualized.
No balls and a strike for Camargo, and an inside out swing fouled away. It's 0-2 to the Braves third baseman.
You got to know your material. You got to know what the guys want, what they need. Adapt some drills to them in their swing. It's not all cookie cutter.
And what's the age-old adage? It's not how you start, but how you finish. Freddie entered this game with 2 homers and 13 RBIs in his last 30 games. A big blast here against a tough Cardinal pitcher has put Atlanta in front in a critically important game as the Braves seek their 84th victory of the year.
I think it's a good sign he's had a good series against this good pitching staff.
Absolutely.
He's now 7 for 12 with 2 homers.
Special thanks to Braves PR Adrian Midgley for allowing me to get in the batting cage this morning. That's sacred ground.
0-2 pitch. And Camargo chased. Molina finds it and flips to first. And that's strikeout number 6 for Flaherty. 2 outs for Ozzie. Ozzie popped up to Jerko and foul ground his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. 4th inning, Atlanta has the lead. And the Phillies and Mets play later tonight. Noah Syndergaard will go for New York. Zach Eflin will pitch for Philadelphia at Citizens Bank. That game will start at 6:05 Eastern time.
Phillies had to feel pretty good last night after coming from behind.
Yeah, Jorge Alfaro had a big day with a 3-run homer. At the moment, the Braves lead is 5.5 games in the division. The Braves' magic number is 7. No balls and a strike. Ozzie lifts one toward Bader in center. He'll gallop in a few steps. And the former Florida Gator hauls that in to retire the side. Freddie Freeman's 23rd home run is his 7th hit of this series. He was pitched away. He hit it a long way away in the 4th. And the Braves have a 2-0 lead at home. Visit. Way to go, Dave.
Big fans.
Big fans. 5th inning is upon us. It's presented by Audi Q5. Touki Toussaint with a 2-0 lead. He's got Matt Adams, Harrison Bader, and Jack Flaherty coming up. Is hit foul to the right side. It's quickly 0-2 to Matt.
Big inning right here. Big inning for Touki and the team.
I agree. Huge.
2-run lead. Both pitchers on their game, it seems. It seems it's also a little tough to see. Shutdown inning required.
And Adams is caught looking with a hook. Tuki's had all of his pitches working. That's his 6th strikeout.
Good morning, changeup outside corner. Good afternoon up, and good night. The backdoor slider. Outstanding pitch, and Big City knew it.
4 looking strikeouts, 2 swinging strikeouts for Toussaint so far. And here's Harrison Bader, who was hit on the back of the helmet with a curveball his first time up.
You guys are going to think I'm crazy.
No, we don't.
No, no.
We've thought that too long.
in my notes because I'm combing the Cardinals players. And this guy's dad, when he threw him BP when he was younger, used to hit him intentionally on purpose. I do not recommend this in any fatherhood situation, but he said, you're going to get hit as you grow up, and I don't want you scared of the ball. So occasionally he used to let one loose. Never heard that before.
No.
And I don't recommend it.
No.
But then he gets clocked with the curveball early. And
that's probably what he told the trainer. Oh, this is not a big deal. My dad used to hit me in the head all the time.
My dad throws harder than this guy. 3 balls, no strikes. And there's that inside corner. Look, Joe, you talked about pitching inside. Paul, you did too. Doesn't have to be a strike to be effective.
Correct.
Tukey's had these guys off balance with those inside pitches. Maybe a lesson for the rest of the staff going forward.
There's the term effectively wild. That term does not work if everything's away. Nobody's scared. But if you're effectively wild and the ball may come in and hit you, then you're not comfortable and it works. He's thrown to both sides. He hasn't had pinpoint command, but he's been very, very good when he's needed to be.
That one's launched to left, and Harrison Bader's got his second home run of this series into the Hank Aaron terrace, a no-doubter. And on a full count pitch, the Cardinals are down a run. It's 2-1 now. He keeps this up. We're going to have to call him Darth Bader.
Love it. Talking to Jim Edmonds before the ball game, longtime Major League outfielder, great center fielder, Gold Glove center fielder. I asked him about Bader, what his thoughts were on him, and he said he's got some things to learn at the plate because he likes to lay back on that back leg and launch. Well, it paid off for him right there. And he said he's also a terrific center fielder, and he's going to be a good one.
431 feet. That's the 6th home run for St. Louis in the series. And now Flaherty and the Cardinals are down 1 with 1 out in the 5th inning.
I like that pitch right there. He just gave up the home run. He attacked ahead 0-1 with the fastball.
I don't disagree with what the Cardinals were saying that you quoted them in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch about the ball jumping. It has been jumping in this series, more so than we're accustomed to seeing.
And so your point about free base runners, the deadliest combination for a pitcher in any ballpark, walks and then homers. And it seems to me, Joe, that's as much as anything as what's plagued the Braves in their home park over their last 18 games here.
It seems like one goes with the other, and it's usually a walk in front of the home run.
So a solo shot hurts, but not as badly as if Adams had reached to lead off the inning. Flaherty's retired, 2 outs. Now we go to Kolten Wong. Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Kolten Wong will very slowly make his way to the batter's box. That'll give Flaherty an extra second or two to gather himself on the Cardinal dugout bench. Wong is flied out, and he's hitting to a double play.
Just missed. Talking to Kolten Wong today, when he was drafted, he got to Busch Stadium. One of the first people that he saw was Jose Aquindo, who said to him, son, I want you to start concentrating on your defense. I want you to see yourself someday winning the Gold Glove. And he said that has been the most important thing to him. Coming out of Hawaii, he was a catcher. He's transferred to second base, paid a lot of attention to his defense, and has been very good on a team that struggled at that at times.
And that's really surprising when you think of the Cardinals. Pitching and defense go hand in hand and have for 100 years there, much like the Braves. That has not been the case there the last couple of years.
No, they've struggled to make plays, more errors than anybody in the National League in baseball coming into this series.
3 balls and a strike to Wong with Martinez waiting on deck. Braves 2, St. Louis 1. Freddie Freeman with a homer. Harrison Bader with a solo shot for the Cardinals.
They can earn it.
Wong was on his way to first base. As you said, it's been a generous strike zone.
Jim Wolf's a little delayed on his call. It's not that he's late on making up his mind. He's just not as snappy to throw that right hand out.
And a swing and a miss. Instead of ball 4, it's strike 3. And Kolten Wong and the Cardinals are done, but not before Bader hits a home run to cut the Braves lead in half.
Talking about Max Fried playing alongside Jack Flaherty. Now, this is someone he told me he has known about since he was 12 years old. They played against each other in Little League, and their senior year in high school, when Max was a senior, they played together as well. And I asked him, what are you wanting for today? And he said, well, I obviously want us to win. I'd like him to pitch well, but I'd also like Tukey to strike him out. And he was able to do that. But Chip, Joe, and Birdie, Max tells me they're so close that him and Jack will be in Lucas's wedding this summer. So a special moment for him. Lucas got to watch Max pitch last year in St. Louis, and this is Max's first time watching Jack pitch in person.
Like I said, that's some kind of high school rotation. You got Giolito, Fried, and Flaherty. Go get them.
All first-round picks.
Amazing. Liner and fair down the line by Tyler Flowers, just out of reach of Jerko. That ball will die up against the left field fence. And a good start for Atlanta in the 5th inning. A lead-off double. Let's see if the Braves can get that run back.
How did he keep that fair? Guy pulled his hands in to get the barrel to it. That's usually one that you hook foul. But he didn't. Right by the line. 2-base hit to start the inning. That's great. Come right back and get at least that one run back from the home run by Bader.
Yeah. And it wasn't a shutdown inning from Tukey, but I liked the way he pitched. He attacked. He didn't give out a free pass, and he came back on Wong, and the Braves have a 2-1 lead.
Dansby struck out his first time. See if he can get the runner to third base. Got the pitcher next. And a strike. Ideally, Dansby hits this ball to the right side and the run scores.
Yeah, this is not necessarily your A1 example of get him over and get him in because the pitcher is on deck. But Tukey handles the bat pretty well. At least until he gets 2 strikes. You want Dansby to try to drive him in.
That won't get it done. It's a ground ball to third. And 1 out. In the playoffs, this will be a fascinating case study to see how managers handle and manipulate their pitching staff. In a run-scoring spot, you might see managers pull their starter, even if they're pitching well like Toussaint, because they've gone through the lineup 2 times and they look for offense any way they can get it. I think Brian Snitker's decision process has to be different. Number one, he leads in this game, and number two, we know all about the recent bullpen struggles for the Braves.
Well, he's not going to have as many bodies down there either.
No question. In September, you can manage to your heart's content. So it'll take a hit for Atlanta to bring home Flowers here with one out. Tukey flied out to right. And check swing roller to short. And will get the runner to third base. But there is out number 2. Division Series tickets for the 2018 postseason went on sale this morning. Get your postseason tickets today. Go to Braves.com/postseason. Get to select your seats.
Man, it's fun to have promos like that again.
It's been a while.
Man, I hated doing those promos where we had to say, for those of you wanting to buy tickets in Washington for the postseason, no, those just didn't go over well, did they?
You're not the one that had to read them. I don't know what you're complaining about.
I know. It's fun.
Here's Acuna downstairs, ball 1.
You know, with the talk about how the Braves have lost a couple of games on their lead, I mean, there's legitimate thoughts about it. But flash back to opening day. Hey, you're going to get a 5.5 game lead with 11 to play. Will you take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what the situation.
1-0 pitch. Well, and I think that's the thing we all have to remember. These are the natural highs and lows, the roller coaster ride that is a push toward a division title. It's somewhat unexpected. I think we would all agree with that. I think we can all focus on what the team isn't doing well. To do that, though, you lose sight of what these young kids are doing in, frankly, unprecedented fashion. Foltynewicz and Newcomb and Toussaint and Wilson and Albies. I mean, these guys don't have a lot of postseason experience. Even Freddy Freeman only has a handful of games chasing down a playoff spot.
This team's very dangerous for me if they get in because of what you just said. They're young. They beat the odds all year long. The game goes in cycles. The season goes in cycles. If they get hot, look out.
We had a scout tell us last night that with respect to some of the Braves bullpen issues, these are guys that are pitching in September, so there's a built-in fatigue factor there, and they've exceeded, most of them, their career innings pitched levels. So they're in foreign territory altogether.
And then there's the, oh my gosh, here we are, we have a chance to do this. And all the attention and pressure that comes with that. Not that it's bad pressure, it's good pressure, but it's certainly different than anything they've experienced.
And the bullpen was lights out in August. You can't stay hot all year long, whether it's the starters, and there was a time when the Braves couldn't hit with runners in scoring position for weeks.
Right.
So I would just say, get there, number one. Hasn't happened yet. Get there, and then if it comes together and guys get hot at the right time, get a little rest, look out.
What a stop by Molina. That ball hit a good foot in front of the plate, and he played it like a first baseman on a short hop. What a stop. That saved a run.
A lot of respect right there for Ronald Acuna. Flaherty, who's been hitting his spots all day, bounced a number of pitches. Everything was an 0-2 pitch. And even when he tried to come in, he could not execute his pitch. That's when you know, hey, this guy's really good, and you try to do a little too much on the hill.
So the inning continues for Ender. First walk for Flaherty. First and third with 2 outs. Braves have been an excellent 2-out run scoring team all year. 274 of them, in fact. We talk about how walks are rally starters in postseason play. 2-out runs can be backbreakers for defense in postseason play. Now Molina wants to call in the entire Cardinal infield. He is a coach in harness for St. Louis as they talk over this sequence with Freeman waiting on deck.
I don't mean this is any disrespect to the new Cardinals manager, Mike Schilt, because I don't know him. I have a lot of respect for what he's been able to do to get this team turned around. But there have been player managers You know, I mean, there's a handful of them, if not more. And I think of Frank Robinson who did it. But if ever there's a guy in the modern era who could be a player manager, it's Yadi Molina.
Great point.
1 ball, no strikes. For Ender Inciarte, who singled and scored ahead of Freddie's homer last inning. And that one got away, and no chance for Molina. And the Braves get a gift run. After the meeting on the mound, Flaherty throws another one in the dirt. It gets away from Yadier Molina, and Flowers scampers home to put the Braves up 2 again.
It was another horrible breaking ball that it sounded like it hit Molina in the mask.
No, absolutely. There's the good slider. Molina on the side of the mask. He killed a worm. And again, that pressure of that situation. He is in 0-2 mode with every pitch he's throwing right now.
Oh, did that irritate Yadier Molina to not keep that in front of him.
So Acuna at second on the wild pitch as well. A hit could give the Braves another run. It's upstairs. Ball 3. Flaherty was brilliant through 3 innings, a single and a homer in the 4th. Got the next 3 hitters in order for Atlanta. He gave up the leadoff 2-base hit to Flowers. A walk and a wild pitch has him behind 3-1 again. And now Ender has a 3-0 pitch to Ponder. Made him throw a strike. Ender wasn't sure it was a strike. Again, it's been a pitcher's strike zone all day today.
Another leader in the park on deck, Freddy Freeman. Put a message with Ron Washington on everybody's chair saying we are still the best team in the National League East. I love it.
There's ball 4, and now Freeman will hit with 2 on and 2 out. And a 2-run lead. And 2's the magic number for Freddie today. He's 2 for 2. And he's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Pretty good last 11 games. 366 average and getting hot at the right time. You see the RBIs. Best player stepping up at the right time. Leader on the team, leader at the plate.
Just like we were talking about with Molina last night. You know, it's one thing to talk a good game, but when you can deliver and back it up, that means even more.
Jim Wolf slowly makes his way to the mound as Mike Maddox talks things over with Flaherty. Flaherty suffered a tough luck loss last time out against the Dodgers. He gave up a home run to Yasiel Puig. Today he's given up a homer to Freddie Freeman. And it was a no doubt shot to left center.
Fastball a little above the knees, out in his happy zone.
Launch angle 28 degrees, just like Joe predicted. He stuck his tongue out getting out of the box. A little Michael Jordan right there.
Yeah.
So 2 on 2 out for Freddie. 3-1 Braves lead it. The pitch is way too high. Ball 1. Former Brave Chasen Shreve is up and throwing in the St. Louis pen. Two balls, no strikes. Got that one called. 2-1. And smoked into right field, a base hit. Here comes Acuna around third. Martinez loads up. His throw's cut off by Man Adams. And it's a 3 RBI day for Freddy Freeman, who's 3 for 3.
So that one wild pitch scored a run. It also put another guy in scoring position. He wasn't going to spike that curveball, and he left it up for Freddie to hook. I thought they were going to have a play at the plate.
I did too. I was surprised Matt Adams cut that ball off. Acuna struggled going around third right here. Short stepped it. Timing was off a little bit.
So Jack Flaherty, who's pitched more innings this year than he has at any other time as a professional, was brilliant through 3 innings. But the second and third time through the lineup has not been kind to him as Atlanta's tagged him for 4 runs. Nick Markakis will face Chasen Shreve with Atlanta ahead 4-1. It's 5 innings of work. Let's see if Atlanta can tag on a couple of more with Nick Markakis standing in there. He's our Zaxby's indescribably good player.
Markakis, as you see, first in hits. He's a doubles machine and should have 1 more. One he hit down in Miami, I still can't get over. And how about multi-hit games? 55, also good for first. He has been indescribably good.
This keeps up. Might have a double or 2 myself after Braves knock off St. Louis today, we hope. First and third with 2 in and 2 out. And he almost got hit. Shreve started the year with the Yankees and really struggled at times with New York. Cardinals added him to bolster their bullpen, a bullpen that really has been changed on the fly over the course of this 2018 season.
Cardinals sent Luke Voight, an international cap space, to the Yankees for him. The Yankees had so many guys that they had on a shuttle between AAA and the big leagues, not just position players, but relief pitchers. Seemed like by the dozens, and Chasen got caught up in that, and it's hard to be consistent.
He's got a 1-1 count from Markakis. And Nick was all over that. 1 and 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. Wasn't it Shreve and Javier Vasquez that went to the Yankees? I believe Chasen was in that deal. Had a couple of good years in New York. And trying to help the Cardinals.
He's in that deal for that left-hander that had some Banuelos.
Manny Banuelos. That's the deal.
That deal.
Sounds right.
Banuelos, former Brave. Mariano Rivera said he is the best prospect he's ever seen.
Yeah, he just got sidetracked with injuries. Just a shame. that it didn't work out for Manny. The Braves took a flyer on him. That's one of the deals that didn't work out during the Braves rebuild. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first, Freeman's going. The pitch inside. Molina's throw is going to be in time. Sliding home is Inciarte. Freeman thought he beat the play at second base, and this is a huge call. If this call's overturned, the Braves will get a run out of it. And is Atlanta going to challenge? They are. So for the moment, Freeman is out at second. Let's see if they got the tag down in time. Ooh. I don't think they did.
Well, he's tagged him on the back leg.
Oh, he's safe.
Heck yeah.
The Braves are going to steal a run on this play.
Wait a minute. Don't get too confident. This is replay we're talking about.
Wow.
And it is a play at second base. I don't think this is going to take long to overturn at all.
DeYoung came up with the glove and got him on the back of the leg.
And then dropped the ball. But Freeman was already touching the base and never came off.
How about Freeman going full boat into second base, tagging the back corner with the side of his foot? Incredible slide.
And kept his foot on the base.
And didn't turn his ankle. I don't know how.
Let's take a look at a different angle.
Oh, the ball came out as soon as he put the glove on him when he eventually did tag him.
I think all that's academic. I think he flat out beat the play at second.
I agree.
Too.
But as Paul said, one never knows.
The tension, I can't stand it.
No, that's just replay. So for the moment, it's 4-1. It should be 5-1 because Freeman's going to be safe at second base. He is, and Ender scores on the throw to second. So that is a case where replay benefits the Braves.
How about Freddy Freeman?
Big day today. A double steal, and Inciarte comes home on the throw through to second base. So he's got his 26th stolen base. Freeman's got his 10th. And the Braves have their 3rd run of the inning, their 5th of the game.
He can take you deep to center, left center, right. He's pulled 2 other singles today. He can steal a base, and we just found out that he can really slide.
And he's in double digits in steals. He's a 2010 guy as of today.
It's the first time in Freddy's career he's gotten to double-digit stolen bases. In the major leagues, he had 8 last year. And Markakis swings and misses, and that retires the side. But what a productive inning for Atlanta. Tyler Flowers led off with a double. He scored on a wild pitch. Then Freddy Freeman with a run-scoring single, and then a double steal plates Ender Inciarte, and the Braves have 5 through 5 and lead by 4. A Chevy game summary: pitching, hitting, and big work on the base paths.
Well, I'm going to start with the hitter. I'm going to save the pitching for Paul. But Freddy Freeman, what a good day he's had, bouncing back. Braves have lost 4 in a row. He's had a good series, but his best day today when the Braves really needed it.
And Tookie's still on the hill. It's not over. My favorite stat is not up there, which is only 2 walks. He has attacked the strike zone, gotten some double plays. He has given up the big home run, but I love the way that he has attacked this St. Louis lineup.
So let's be in attack mode. A shutdown inning would be really, really great for Touki Toussaint. He's got a 4-run lead, and he's giving Atlanta exactly what they wanted. Big innings, pitched with command, with control, and every inning he gives Atlanta gives the Braves bullpen a physical and mental breather. Lined over second and into center field by Martinez with a 1-strike count. That's his first hit, and the Cardinals have their leadoff man aboard.
Again, gave up the hit, but I liked how he's attacking the strike zone. He can come out, give anybody a free pass. Martinez, a good story. Got to the big leagues when he was 29. I don't know why it took so long, because he can really hit.
Yeah, he really uses the opposite field a lot too.
Well, when Tookie's had a little trouble in the early innings, he's gotten a couple of double plays behind him. One more here wouldn't hurt. As a little cloud cover arrives, which is blessed relief for the fans here. Many of whom have tried to take cover under the cantilever decks here at SunTrust Park. Braves gave him something to cheer about the last 2 innings. 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. And that almost clipped Paul DeYoung.
Joe, you talked about last inning, how important it was for Tookie to come out and have a shutdown inning. You got the 3 more runs. This is another one.
That split finger pitch is awfully good.
But Chip, you're talking about attacking and being aggressive, and one thing that also helps on is you don't go to deep counts. Guys are either swinging and missing, or they're putting the ball in play early in the count, so you're not getting your pitch count ramped up.
Popped him up. Freddy Freeman is under it. Look at where Touki heads. Over to first base just in case something goofy happens. Smart fundamental play.
Did you see how quickly he got to first base on that 3-6-1 double play that they turned for him in the 3rd inning? He was camped out at first waiting on the return throw from Dansby. Got over there that fast.
I like that. You're saying we may have an athlete.
It appears so.
Well, most of them are right-handed, so that's something we always have to keep in mind. Here's Ozuna.
That is actually true, by the way.
He's lined out and single. Braves 5, Cardinals 1. Mets and Phillies later tonight at 6:05 Eastern. So the Phillies have a night game and then have to travel late to get to Atlanta in time for tomorrow's game. St. Louis heads home. They're off tomorrow. They have 3 with the Giants, 3 with Milwaukee, whom they're trying to catch, and they finish the year in Chicago against the Cubs. The Central race is not over by a long stretch, nor is the wild card race. No balls, 2 strikes.
I love how Touki is throwing all of his pitches for strikes. He's not messing around, attacking the zone. That one he went for the corner on the slider, started him out with a fastball, then threw the changeup to thirds. Ozuna can hit, but he's going right after him.
A swing and a miss. Ozuna didn't get it. Something off speed, a curveball. And that's 8 strikeouts for Toussaint today. Wow.
This is a mistake. It's supposed to be away, but it backs up on the inside part of the plate. And a lot of times when that happens, you won't get good break on it. That was disgusting. It went straight down, and Ozuna had no chance.
Heard you pitchers say before, and I would agree as a hitter, that if you could just learn how to throw that backup slider when you wanted to, great weapon.
Tukey's strikeout high at any level this year was 11. That was on June 30th against Pensacola. He struck out 4 in his major league debut August 13th against Miami. He struck out 6 Red Sox and struck out 5 in Arizona. So a new major league high today against a good hitting Cardinal team.
Has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of his last 16 starts, regardless of level, going all the way back to June 4th of this year in AA Mississippi. Let's keep that streak going.
2 balls and a strike for Jed Jerko.
Well placed fastball is called to order right here. Guy's a fastball hitter, but don't just throw one down the middle. They're going fastball away.
And didn't get the call. So it's a 2-out walk to Jerko. That is the 3rd walk for Tukey and his 1st walk since the 2nd inning.
Jan Hartzog did some research on the Braves and their walks because it's been such a topic lately. And as Chuck Hernandez goes out to talk to Tukey, I'll relay this to you. And it's teams that have 1 or less walks per game. And when the Braves have 1 or less, they're 15-1. However, they have the fewest games of 1 walk or less of anybody in baseball. Only 16 times, and they're 15-1 when that happens. The number 1 team with 1 or less, the Dodgers, 49 of them, and they are 28-21. But I thought, as you look at these various teams, who walks a lot of guys, who doesn't, but the Braves dead last in that category of 1 walk or less.
It is a different game on the mound these days. And Tom Glavine talked about that with Jeff Schultz. Great story in the Athletic sports website. And one of Tom's points of conversation with Jeff was he feels that it's a twofold issue. Number 1, inexperience. Young guys at this level. And number 2, organizations and players themselves valuing velocity over all else. As Molina shoots one into left field for a base hit that'll score a run. The throw not cut off. And Martinez points to Acuna in left field, his 3rd cousin, as he scores the first St. Louis run since the 5th inning. And that makes it a 5-2 game. So that man, Yadier Molina, comes through with a big hit. 2 are on for the Cardinals with 2 outs, and the walk leads to Molina's at bat.
It was a little bit like Tyler Flowers' swing last inning, pulling his hands in and hooking it.
So a huge series for Molina. Braves bullpen will get busy. Tyler Flowers will walk slowly to the mound. That'll buy some time for the relief corps to get a few extra pitches with Matt Adams up there. Adams has struck out twice. Brian Snitker poised at the bottom step of the Braves dugout staircase, looking to the bullpen for confirmation that Johnny Venters is ready. Hasn't gotten it yet. Now Jim Wolf slowly to the mound, and now once Wolf gets there, Brian Snitker will walk out, and he will now make the decision to bring on Johnny Venters. That move by Brian Snitker just bought Johnny 2 or 3 extra warm-up pitches. Hopefully those will be made to good use, as Tukey should get a big cheer as he heads to the dugout. The young man pitched a big game when the Braves needed it most today. Atlanta United against Real Salt Lake Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on Fox Sports Southeast. Your fall lineups presented by Landmark Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Toussaint departs after 5 2/3 innings of terrific 5-hit baseball. He will leave the game in the hands of Johnny Venters, who will try to retire Matt Adams and preserve a 3-run Atlanta lead.
You see the ERA on the season since coming over to the Braves. He has a 2.70 ERA. Struggled a little bit yesterday, Joe. This is a big inning for him, a big out. Matt Adams at the plate. He's looking for a little redemption.
He said last night after the game he didn't do his job and gave up a couple of runs. And you know Johnny Venters will be out there with a little payback on his mind after last night.
And I love that Brian Snitker is going to him.
Me too.
That's a Bobby Cox trade. Hey, get him right back out there. I believe in you, and over the long haul, you will be fine.
Adams has struck out looking twice, but he represents the tying run. No chance for Flowers. It'll be Venters handling the ricochet, and the runners move up on a very wild pitch.
Breaking ball down out of the zone. Underneath the glove of Flowers. You're frustrated when that happens as a pitcher, but again, there's 2 outs. You got to release it. Just worry about the hitter at the plate.
I don't know if Molina could score on a single. Remember, he's got the bad hamstring, and he's the runner at second base. Hot shot right into the shift, and that's where Dansby was playing. If they don't shift, that is a run-scoring hit. Venters gives up a rocket, but Adams and the Cardinals settle for 1 in the 6th. And 2/3 innings of work. Don't forget to stick around for the 7th inning stretch. It's presented by Synovus, the bank of here. We'll be talking about the upcoming series with the Philadelphia Phillies, a biggie. The Braves play the Phillies 7 of the final 10 games in the regular season. Again, at the moment, Atlanta's magic number to eliminate Philadelphia stands at 7. So Johan Camargo, Ozzie Albies, and Tyler Flowers will lead off. Camargo will turn around and bat right-handed against Chasen Shreve. Jack Flaherty struck him out twice as a left-handed batter today. That's fouled back toward us.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't think that was a real good matchup for Johan against Flaherty. The way Flaherty pounds the inside part of the plate, Johan right on top of it. It didn't work out well.
taken low from Shreve. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another team to keep an eye on, guys, that is knocking at the door in the playoffs. I've talked about them quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. The Tampa Bay Rays. If you haven't followed Tampa Bay, they've already been eliminated in the American League East. They've got 84 wins and 66 losses. That record would have them leading the American League Central. It would have them leading the National League West. It would have them leading the National League East. And as it stands now, Tampa Bay is in Texas. They are only 5.5 games behind Oakland for a wild card spot. Kevin Cash has done an incredible job, as has Bob Guerin with Oakland, which is only 5 behind Houston for the divisional lead in the American League West. Yesterday, Tampa Bay was finally able to knock the Texas Rangers from the ranks of the unshutout. The Rangers were the last team to suffer a home shutout in the big leagues. As Camargo goes to a knee and strikes out, Blake Snell got his 20th win as Tampa Bay won 4-0 last night.
Where do you have him in the Cy Young race?
Right at the top. I heard the debate going on today on the radio driving in, and I couldn't believe that there was even a knock on the fact that he didn't have as many innings pitched as Verlander and some others. But if Chris Sale is in the discussion, I don't know why you would penalize Blake Snell for being on the 10-day DL and missing a couple of starts.
And you got Corey Kluber with 19 wins. He's in that discussion, quite obviously. And you can't use the old, well, Tampa Bay's not in the playoff race. Heck, they are. I mean, he's been incredible for that club.
On a team that only has at times 2 starters.
That's right. And the Braves were one of the teams that beat him this year. I recall Atlanta went down to Tampa Bay and knocked him off. A man that's lost only 5 times. Atlanta beat him thanks to an Acuna homer.
That's why the Braves are dangerous. You can ask Max Scherzer how he likes facing the Braves when he's throwing 100+ pitches in 4 innings and can't figure out how to get guys out. When this team is hot, they can beat anybody. Are they the Red Sox right now? No. If they're going well, they can beat anybody. And that's the whole key for me finishing the year in impossible postseason play.
And isn't that the beauty of the postseason? It's, you know, you look at paper, okay, favorite teams, underdog teams, Cinderella teams, teams that back in, earn their way, whatever description you want to use. Once you're one of the final 8 teams, all that stuff disappears. It truly is a new season.
Just get in.
I mean, the Cardinals won a World Series, I think. They were an 80-something win team in regular season play. I think the White Sox had a year where they didn't win 90 games and got in.
I know it's a different sport, but you look at the college basketball tournament, March Madness, it's not always 4 number 1 seeds that get into the Final Four.
Most of the time it's not. That's what makes it so fun. As Ozzie digs in, he's 0 for 2 and faces a full count. 2 batting right-handed against Shreve. And that got a piece of Molina. Well, that guy takes a ton of punishment back there.
Another thing about the playoffs too, you will have Hall of Fame players, and you look at their postseason numbers, and they're not very good. And then you will have a marginal player who is just exceptional and ends up being the MVP. The reality is you don't know who is going to step up in the playoffs and perform.
And Ozzie takes ball 4. So Shreve sprays a fastball inside that badly missed. And a fast runner at first in front of Tyler Flowers, who got the Braves' 5th inning rally started. And Flowers won't face Shreve. Tyler wears out left-handed pitching, so Mike Schilt will make the trek to the hill and go take the ball away from Chase and Shreve, who retired 2 of the first 3 hitters he was assigned, both of them via strikeouts. Atlanta has another threat, a runner aboard in the 6th, and the Braves lead 5-2. Out of Grove City, Ohio, another third-round pick taken by St. Louis. He was drafted in 2013, up and down between the bigs and the minors last couple of seasons for the Cardinals, and a busy man out of what again has been a Cardinal pen that's changed a lot of faces on the fly here in the middle months of the season.
I think his teammates call him Wayne.
Maybe.
Wayne's World.
Always a chance.
Loved him in Austin Powers. He worked the ninth inning last night, gave up a hit and a walk. In fact, the hit was a double to Freddy Freeman, but was able to escape.
Has appeared in 4 games in the last 7 days since returning from the DL on September 11th, so it's back to work.
Mike pitched collegiately at Ole Miss, won 12 games there. And that missed down and away, ball 1. Myers was a starting pitcher all the way through his minor league career. The Cardinals moved him to the bullpen in 2017. That's driven to right. Long run, Martinez, and up against the wall. He hauls it in and made a good play.
Sure did.
Into the shadows with that fence and that padding creeping up quickly. He took away a long drive from Tyler Flowers for the second out.
And I got to tell you, as an outfielder, when you feel and see that shadow, rather, that gives you the feeling that you're right on the wall, that you don't have an extra 6 or 8 feet. So you start pulling up, but he didn't. Went right to the fence to make the catch. And when you can feel a shadow, that's pretty impressive, wouldn't you say?
That's a heavy shadow.
Yes. Oh.
So Mike Myers said, "Yeah, baby," as Flowers is the second out, and Dansby Swanson the hitter. One ball, no strikes. Not sure if Myers features a fastball, curveball, changeup, splitter, or just has sharks with lasers on their heads. Any of those would be useful tools for a major league pitcher.
Fastball, slider, change, which he has a good slider, which confuses me a little bit because righties hit him a little better than lefties, but he has been an impressive rookie. And 26 years old, so this is our era's type of rookies.
Right.
Mike's no mini-me. He's 6'3", 225. Again, out of Grove City, Ohio. Made his major league debut in July of 2016 against the Dodgers. They're pitching Dansby very carefully. Nobody up in the Cardinal bullpen. Johnny Venter's spot is due next, and Lucas Duda's grabbed a bat, so if Dansby reaches, Duda could have a chance to do some big-time damage. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So a 4-pitch walk after the nice catch in right puts runners at first and second. 2 walks in the inning for the Cardinals. So Vetters did his job, retired the man he was assigned, Matt Adams. He's taken down for Lucas Duda.
It's not a Duda. You see those numbers on the year: 14 home runs, 49 RBI. He and Big City Matt Adams put on absolute shows in batting practice, talking top of the chop house. We'll see if he can run into one here.
They're waiting for him out there. The pitch is over the inside corner, a strike.
There's that slider at 88. Ayers has had trouble commanding that fastball, so going to the first pitch, breaking ball, and it's a strike.
Got the call on the outside corner. 97 right there is going to be pretty effective most of the time. One ball, two strikes. Little looper into right center field. Martinez is going to get there with a hop. And that retires the side. Myers gets out of a St. Louis jam in the 6th. We go to the 7th. Atlanta in command 5-2. Colorado Rockies. Chris Taylor hit a walk-off homer for the Dodgers, and they sank Colorado by a 3-2 final score. The Dodgers were seemingly dead and buried in May, but the rest of the National League West couldn't put them away. And now, as you see, the race for the best record in the National League. The Braves a half game behind the Dodgers with the 5th best tally in National League action.
And that's significant when it comes to a divisional playoff and who has home field advantage. Not just home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but in a head-to-head, whomever you play once the playoffs start.
So again, the National League playoff race still very far from coming into complete focus, which is what makes it so fun for the final 2 weeks. Harrison Bader will lead off. He's hit a home run, accounting for one of the 2 Cardinal runs. Pop fly foul. I, for one, am hoping for absolute, complete, and total chaos on the final day of the season. I would love to see a couple of divisional ties, a couple of 3-way ties for the wild card, and a whole bunch of play-in, playoff games before the playoffs start.
Except in the East.
Exactly. Bader's been hit by a pitch. He also has a 431-foot homer.
Jesse Biddle could use a good outing without any walks. He's walked at least one man in each of his last 4 outings, including a couple of days ago against the Cardinals. 1 inning, 2 walks, a hit, 3 runs.
Let me ask you guys, as former major league players, you're 0 for 17. Does 1 hit get you out of it? You have 3 or 4 bad outings, more so as a reliever, Paul, than as a starter. You go out and you face 4 hitters, get 3 of them out pretty easily. Does that turn things around for you with the flick of a switch?
Yes, and I would even say that the best don't lose confidence when they struggle. In other words, if you have a bad outing, you're like, God, what happened? I can't wait to get back out there and show that was a fluke. when you have a few of them in a row, you can get inside your head a little bit, but the best, their confidence is not tied to their performance.
From a hitter's standpoint, it depends on what the base hit is, Chip. I mean, if you hit a hard hit ball, line drive, it doesn't necessarily have to be a base hit, but knowing that you hit one right on the nose and that what you've been working on to try to get out of it is beginning to pay off, that you're close.
Well, Jesse's got a good start to the 7th. He got Bader to pop out. Now Tyler O'Neill's going to hit for Mike Myers, who walked a man in his 2/3 of an inning. 1 ball, 1 strike for Tyler O'Neill. Cardinals are off tomorrow. They've got San Francisco next. The Braves are not off tomorrow. As you know, the Phillies will be here. Huge series. And Rebecca and Brian Jordan will talk about that in just a few minutes on the 7th inning stretch, presented by Synovus, the Bank of Here. One ball, 2 strikes. Just missed.
So he's throwing well right now. He's attacking the zone. He's flying open on his breaking ball. But I like the fact that he is aggressive.
How about that sequence? Biddle strikes out O'Neill. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th inning.
Biddle's got the good hook, gets righties out better than lefties. And O'Neill looking for the breaking ball, gets tied up and overmatched with 96 in.
So back to the top end, Kolten Wong, who's 0 for 3. Wong reached base 4 times last night. Doubled, homered, singled, and scored a run in the series opener on Monday. So knock on wood, the Braves have kept him under control in the 3rd and final game of this series. Braves are trying to snap a Cardinal 8-game winning streak in Atlanta. That's hard to figure. It's the longest Cardinals winning streak against the Braves here in the South since 1967 and 68. And those were 2 World Series teams for the Cardinals. Two balls and a strike. The 67-68 Cardinal teams racked up 11 straight victories at Fulton County Stadium.
My opinion, 3-1. You got a 5-2 lead. Throw the ball right down the middle and challenge him.
Split the plate.
He did, and it's going to turn into a fly out. See, you throw strikes, good things can happen. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Jesse Biddle. Nice comeback for him. Time for the stretch. The Phillies are lurking. Rebecca and BJ will break it down on the stretch. Here we go to the bottom half. Top of the order coming up for Atlanta. The Braves lead 5-2. And they will face the fourth Cardinal hurler of this game. It's left-hander Tyler Webb. As part of that restructuring of the St. Louis bullpen, he was called up with Daniel Ponce de Leon, as we might say around here, and Carson Kelly.
He pitched in game 1, just a third of an inning, gave up a couple of hits and 2 unearned runs. That was the inning that Munoz had 2 errors in the outfield. Low 90s, change-up, slider.
Only throws that change 4.4% of the time, so primarily a 2-pitch pitcher, which you can do that coming out of the pen.
No balls and a strike. You can understand the care with which he'll pitch Ronald Acuna, for then after Ronald, the parade of left-handers starts for the Braves offense. Inciarte, Freeman, and Markakis are coming up. And that just missed high. Acuna is taking pitches so well this week.
Love this right here. Sanchi talking to the Bidler, talking about the breaking ball right there. Bidler's having trouble finishing his curveball. Sanchi's mid-game trying to help him out.
Sanchi and Bidler. Okay.
Yes.
By any name, you get that hook going down. Call it whatever you want. Call them whatever you want.
It's kind of a superhero, isn't it? But a bad one. You said it kind of like the Riddler.
Mm-hmm. Kind of worried about Jesse. He must be worried about hypothermia down there.
Right.
But he cooled off the Cardinals bats with a 1-2-3 7th. And now Acuna with a 3-2 count. Let's see what he gets. High, can of corn to center. Harrison Bader is under it, and he'll backpedal for out number 1.
Something about that, Paul, that strikes home with me is that Anibal is a good curveball. He has a good curveball. He's a good curveball pitcher, so he can relate to a guy trying to throw one.
No, absolutely. Anibal's a right-hander. He's a lefty, Bidler, but it's the same principles that apply. And he's talking about shortening your stride so you can get on top right there with your body. It's not always arm action.
Love that.
Need that guy on a staff always.
Yeah.
And the reason for the sweatshirt, well, you're in the big leagues, so you got your own air conditioner in the corner of the dugout. The portable AC unit right there, fantastic. There's also another one in the tunnel that starting pitchers will go down and sit so they can last longer in the game. That's one of the things Tukey talked about getting to the big leagues. In case you missed Kelsey Wingert's question, has the big leagues been everything you thought it would be? And Tukey said, well, I go get on the plane flight right on the runway. He goes, I sit in front of an air conditioner, and I don't know if you know this, but we got our own personal chef in the locker room. He didn't even talk about the on-field stuff. Yeah. And he goes, I don't even have to pack my own bags. So it was funny what he thought. And she said, what does that chef fix you on game days? And he goes with the Philly cheesesteak.
There you go.
So Tukey, keep it up. Keep eating the cheesesteaks.
But not too many. Or you'll end up looking like us.
Well, I was just thinking about how what you don't see there, that security guard standing there, is there's donuts back in the back of that area too.
And that area right there, all those guys, police officers, the EMS guys, they all get high fives at the end of the home run chain.
For the record, that was Joe Simpson for our friends with the Cobb County Police Department.
I've been down there.
Okay.
They're good. They're delicious.
Okay.
What's your license plate number again?
2 balls, 2 strikes for Ender. And he shoots one the other way. There's a thing of beauty. He keeps up his good work against lefties, and he's going to take 2. Ozuna doesn't even throw the ball to second. He was thinking 2 out of the box, and Ozuna with a bobble cost him an extra base.
Keep doing it, Ender. Wear those lefties out, especially going the other way. Pitch was right at the target, and Inciarte spoiled it.
Absolutely, and this is the good pressure that he put on Ozuna and others. All the Braves do it, getting out of the box. Willie McGee talked about this, a noticeable difference in this Braves team this year in the way they run the bases.
And remember, too, and Ender knew this when he left the box. He knew he had a chance to get to second base, but especially with the bad shoulder of Ozuna.
So St. Louis will intentionally walk Freddie Freeman. Can understand that. He's hotter than Georgia asphalt right now, with 8 hits in 13 at bats in this series and a perfect 3 for 3 today. So the Cardinals will look for a ground ball from Nick Markakis, who's looking for his first hit. Braves are 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the game. And a little chopper hit to the left side. Jerko flips to second. Long. The throw to first is terrible. That ricochets off the Braves dugout. And scoring from second is Inciarte. The Cardinal defense hurts him again. And Atlanta takes a 6-2 lead.
Oh boy, get it back. Baby.
It's funny, I was just thinking about how their defense hasn't really hurt them since the first night in that one inning where Munoz made the 2 errors, and lo and behold, they have a couple of bobbles this inning. A bobble and a bad throw. Cool.
And that's Wong, who's usually nails at second base.
Right. Only his 6th error.
Competing for the Gold Glove.
So it's a fielder's choice. A force out at second. And an E4 brings Ender around from second on the play. He never stopped running, as he never stopped running out of the box after he made contact. So this is a little more Braves-like performance this season. Aggressive on the base paths, timely hitting. Freddie Freeman in the top of the order, driving in and scoring runs. Excellent starting pitching, and so far the Braves bullpen has been shut down. The ball's 2 strikes. (6-2) Braves in the 7th. All the Braves have to do is win, and they don't have to worry about what the Phillies and Nationals do. And as we said in our early comments today, with the Braves playing an afternoon affair, they have a chance to post the first score in the National League.
Always a good thing.
Especially if you win it. The Braves have a shot at that. Another chance for Martinez in right, and that will retire the side. Ender hustles to second on a double, hustles home on an E4, and Atlanta leads by 4.
Atlanta for this Xfinity game break. I'm Rebecca Capel. We've got a full slate of games across Major League Baseball tonight, and several of them could impact the playoff race. The game we're all watching, Mets and Phillies, Syndergaard throwing against Eflin. Milwaukee trying to add some separation for that first wild card spot. They've got the Reds. The D-backs still with an outside chance at a wild card, taking on the Cubs. And the Rockies also in that wild card chase. They're in LA later on tonight. Get those DVRs ready. Got to keep up with a lot of games, guys.
Best time of the year, Rebecca. Pennant race baseball. Less than 2 weeks to go for the Braves, who, as you said, have 10 games left after this one. Still some unfinished business. Leading by 4. Needs 6 more outs. Let's see if Shane Carl can get at least 3 of them. He's in his 52nd game.
Was lights out early, struggled a little bit, went on the DL, and he has 7 scoreless appearances since coming back. 6.2 innings. He has been lights out since his return, and we need that.
Jose Martinez leads off for the Cardinals, and he whacks the first pitch he sees into left field for his 2nd hit in as many at bats. Overall, he's 2 for 3.
2 for 3, and his out was a line out to right field.
And here's DeYoung.
It's amazing what a little family rivalry will do for you.
So 5 hits for Martinez in this series, 4 hits for Acuna. That's the family rivalry. And here's DeYoung, 0 for 3, a double play, a strikeout, and a pop out. St. Louis is hit to a couple of double plays. Another one here would be nice, as Carl delivers strike 1. That had some good life to it. It's 0-2. Official crowd count at SunTrust today, 25,195.
Good turnout.
Rays are now over 2.4 million in a home attendance.
12-10 start on a Wednesday. Braves have been good on home games. I mean, in day games, 28-21 on the year. Cardinals have a winning record also.
And we hope to have big crowds all week long with the Phillies, starting tomorrow night. 7:35 p.m. Kevin Gausman has the ball for the Braves in the series opener. Julio Teheran is scheduled to pitch Friday. The other starters for both the Phillies and Braves the rest of the way in the final home series here have not been announced. A ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a shot hammered to left. Acuna is going to have to play that one off the fence. He handled the ricochet well, and the Cardinals now have 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. A single and a double back-to-back to lead off the 8th inning.
Talked about DeYoung this whole series. Ball has been jumping, flying off his bat.
Slider wasn't elevated, but too much of the plate. And as you said, Joe, DeYoung is a great hitter and has been really a standout this series. Missed 8 weeks with a broken hand. Runner-up in Rookie of the Year last year to Bellinger. So he's doing what he was supposed to all year.
Well, the concentration here is on the hitter. 4-run lead. You don't worry about those guys in scoring position trying to keep them from scoring at the risk of letting Ozuna reach. Braves bullpen was not active, but it's scrambling out there right now.
It's Dan Winkler.
Who had a great August and has a tough September working.
So the Braves still lead 6-2, but they're at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. And Ozuna with 84 RBIs, the Cardinal RBI leader, digging in. First pitch popped him up to second. There's a break. That'll be the first out of the inning. And no, that is not an infield fly. 1 out, 2 on for Jerko.
Excellent pitch selection. He went with the breaking ball first pitch. Ozuna loves fastballs, and he popped it up and threw the bat down in disgust. Love it.
Jerko is singled, walked, stolen a base, and struck out. See if that pop-up gets Shane Carl back on the beam here. Jerko 2 for 9 at SunTrust Park in this series. The pitch. Yanked foul, strike 1.
That last pitch was a curveball, break straight down. The previous one to Ozuna was a slider. The pitches that look like fastballs that are not are changeups with 4-seam rotation and a tight slider, but you can't see the dot as a hitter.
And really, guys, not surprising that as the day has moved along here and we're pushing toward 3 o'clock, it seems the hitting conditions have gotten a lot better for the men at the plate. First 3 innings, I don't think anybody saw anything.
It was hard for us to see where the ball was when it was on the grass.
Hard for me to see the monitor.
All the scoring started in the 4th. Nice stop by Flowers on a 2-strike pitch. Now 1-2 your count. One more note on that Phillies series. If you have tickets for the Saturday game, originally that was a 7:35 affair. That has been picked up by the Fox network. So the start time 1:05. So we hold tickets for that game, and we are expecting big crowds on Saturday. Please make note of the start time. The pitch missed. 2-2. Don't want to see Molina up with the bases loaded. And he is on deck.
Sacrifice a run for an out. Ground ball. Try to knock it down on the infield if you can.
Nice stop right there by Flo. Breaking ball bounced well in front of the plate.
So now you go 3-2 to Jerko. Martinez at third, DeYoung at second. The pitch. We'll do it again. Kyle ready with a tension-filled 3-2 pitch. It's hammered toward right and right at Markakis. Martinez is going to tag. The throw is going to come toward the plate. It's going to be close. And Martinez just in ahead of the throw. The Braves do sacrifice the run for the out. And the lead trimmed now to 6-3. DeYoung did not tag at second.
No, he made the right play by not going because he doesn't want to get fooled by Martinez on a bluff and get hung out to dry. He's still in scoring position. Martinez was a little late going back to tag, but still got in there.
Thought for a moment he might have slid over home plate, but that back leg crossed the dish. And now runner at second for Molina. The best he could do is make it a 1-run game. He's already got an RBI single. That came in his last at bat. One of 6 runs batted in for Molina in this series. He has played all 3 games for the Cardinals. Day game after the night game. And he is playing with a real bad left hamstring. First pitch, ground ball, too short. And Dansby has all day to throw out Molina, and that retires the side. Carl bends but doesn't break. He allows one. Braves look to add to a 6-3 lead in the 8th next. The 3 lead, and if the Braves get to the National League playoffs, you'll want to join us here at SunTrust Park. Postseason tickets are on sale. To get the best seats for the biggest moments this October, head to Braves.com/postseason and get your seats today. Brett Cecil will be the new St. Louis pitcher, former Toronto Blue Jay.
High ERA and more walks than strikeouts, so he is trying to improve upon those numbers. This game is far from over at 6-3, so this is an important couple innings for Cecil to hold it.
That's what I loved about the Braves run last inning. Even though it scored on a wild throw by Wong, an attempted double play, Braves added on to the lead, something opponents have been doing to Atlanta in their efforts to try to catch up.
Brett Cecil's 32 now. Longtime Toronto Blue Jay. The Cardinals signed him as a free agent. He's under contract through the 2020 season, and he has not fared well this year, as Paul just showed you. A 4-year contract for a age 31-year player out of the bullpen with a lot of relief appearances under his belt. He almost hit Ozzie Albies with that pitch. Ozzie 0 for 2 with a walk. And a squibber back to the mound. And Cecil will make the high throw to first. And there's the first out of the Atlanta 8th inning.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them.
Paul, Joe, Kelsey, and Chip with you from Atlanta. SunTrust Park, where the Braves lead 6-3. Tyler Flowers, the batter. He doubled and scored in the 5th inning today. And he unloads on the very first pitch to deep left. That's headed for the 385 sign and beyond. Home run for Tyler Flowers. He continues his great work against lefties with a long home run. And the Braves answer again. It's now 7-3.
Cecil throws his curveball more than his fastball to righties, but not in this instance. Flowers getting on top of that high fastball and driving it for a no-doubter. Beautiful.
Another pitcher who doesn't give up any homers. Tyler hits those guys. He takes them out of the park. Cecil had only given up 3 homers this season.
It's our secret weapon.
Tyler's first career hit against Brett. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts before that solo shot. So it's 7-3 Atlanta. Rays have hit a couple of homers. Freeman and Flowers. And Dansby didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
405-foot home run, if my instincts are correct. The launch angle was 28.
He got like that. Those weird glasses.
It's a sense.
That it just kind of comes up on the screen, doesn't it? On the lens.
Downstairs for the Brave shortstop. 2 balls and a strike.
There's that good curveball, 80 miles an hour, ground ball pitch.
Dansby just 6 for his last 42. Average right at 240.
That's barely fouled at third base.
Darn. I was hoping to hit the bag.
Jerko was ready to make the peg to first. Instead, he fires it into the fans. Cardinal fan makes the catch. As Tyler Flowers ready to catch the 9th inning. He's homered. Part of a 7-run, 7-hit attack for the Braves today. Again, this one's not over yet, but it is the kind of games the Braves, the kind of game I should say, the Braves have needed here at SunTrust Park. It has been a rough stretch since mid-August here on their home field. Well pitched, well defended. Clutch hitting game for Atlanta as Dansby's retired on strikes. And 2 are out in the 8th inning. Beautiful day in Atlanta, even more so with the Braves in front. Let's take a look at what's happening at the Battery on our Xfinity cam. It is hot. That's a great way to cool off, right, Kelsey? Blistering day here at SunTrust.
Yeah, it is very hot. You know, I was in the dugout talking to Brian Snitker before the game, and he said he thinks this is the hottest game we have played at home this year. And I don't know if we've showed some of the shots, but there have been some of our relievers between pitching changes or whatever going into the bullpen so they can be in the shade and get a break from the sun out there in the outfield.
Were you doing that report from the pool?
Well, Joe,
no
if
comment.
You could see me right now,
Yeah,
I have 3 fans and an umbrella and my, here I am.
There you go.
So I got fan number 1 right here. We got fan number 2. We got fan number 3, an umbrella for the monitor. Welcome to my crib.
I was going to say, don't sell yourself short. You have many more than 3 fans, Kelsey. Come on.
My parents, mom, dad, fan number 3.
There you go.
This is like one of those, you know, that show, Welcome Into My Crib. That's what I'm showing you guys right now. House tour.
What show is that?
Cribs.
Oh.
I love it. I would also like to add, because I know that well, it's got many cement walls and magnifies the heat.
Holds it well, doesn't it?
Yes.
We sit here like this a lot and just get it in there.
And that's why she's delirious right now.
Yes.
She's been in the heat for a while.
Yeah, it is. But when Snitker said before the game he thinks this is the hottest game we've played in at home this year, that should tell you something, because we have had some hot days
yes,
here.
we have.
Can't get the fan back on now, guys.
Uh-oh. I want to know more about that show, Cribs. Have you seen that one, Joe?
No.
No. Paul, be honest.
I have not.
No? Okay.
No.
Pulled foul by Adam Duvall, pinch hitting. 2 balls, 2 strikes to him. So Kelsey will have to take your word on Cribs.
I have certainly heard about it. I'm more of a movie guy.
Yeah.
I get lost in movies and then shows that last 2 years, which ruined my life for a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, you're a binge watcher?
Yes.
Swing and a miss by Duvall, and that will take care of the Braves in the 8th. Tyler Flowers hits a home run in his crib. It's 7-3 Atlanta. We go to the 9th inning.
The 9th inning, and like you know, when this series wraps up, the Phillies will come in town tomorrow. Chip told you earlier they play tonight at 6:05, and they'll travel here for a 7:35 game tomorrow. Kevin Gausman getting the ball, and he is our Wells Fargo look ahead. And you guys, I have good news because he's making his 9th start as a Brave. He has a 2.61 ERA with his new team, but he has yet to face the Phillies as a Brave. He only has one career start against them. And Birdie, I've talked to players about this before, but that normally gives the advantage to the pitcher for the first time facing a team, right?
I would agree, especially when you have multiple pitches. You have a scouting report on the hitters, and that first time through, a hitter really has to see a pitcher, I think, before they get too comfortable. So yes, advantage to the pitcher for me.
Something else to think about too, Kevin Gausman as a Brave, 3-0 with a 2.45 ERA on his home mound. 4 starts, 25 2/3 innings. So those are all good signs for Atlanta. Let's hope for some more good work out of the bullpen today. Atlanta's relief corps has yet to walk a hitter, as Patrick Wisdom faces off with A.J. Minter. And he shoots the first one into right field for a leadoff single.
I think a win is not just a win as it is with a loss. This game's not over, but if they can win today with the way they are doing, Tukey out-dueling St. Louis, and then you have a bullpen that comes in that hasn't walked anybody.
Harrison Bader, the batter. He's hit a long homer today. That's our StatCast AI powered by AWS. Into the Hank Aaron Terrace thanks to that gigantic launch angle. He's a powerful kid. 12 homers for him. And he almost got drilled. Ball 1.
Already been hit in the head today. Curveball got him, ducking out of the way.
That one had a little more hair on it, Joe.
Yes, it did. Got his attention. AJ's had 5 days off. He should be fresh.
Even Carl, who came in and gave up a run, I thought he pitched great. He attacked the zone through all of his pitches for strikes.
Ball 2.
Not a save situation, but as important as a save situation.
2 balls, no strikes for Harrison Bader. Swing and a high fly ball to left, but the park's going to hold it. He got under it, and he's upset. He missed his pitch. Almost golfed that one out of here, but he's the first out. And it'll be Matt Carpenter batting for Brett Cecil, who served up the Flowers home run in his inning of work. Carpenter entered this series needing 8 hits for 1,000. Braves have done a good job on him. Yes, he's walked a couple of times, 3 in fact, but he's 0 for 7 and struck out 3 times last night. And downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. This guy's had a great comeback season for the Cardinals. Remember, he was hitting in the 140s in May. He enters this game with a .263 average and an astounding 35 home runs. It's not just the salsa for Matt Carpenter. It's real talent. This guy's been a good player and a good hitter for a long time. Another wild pitch chases runner to second base. Patrick Wisdom.
9 of his homers have come off left-handed pitchers. .250 average on the year.
There'll be guys that'll have the biceps, and you walk up on them and they're really big. You walk up on this guy, you wouldn't really know he's got 35 home runs. Not to take anything away from him, but really generates a lot out of that frame.
He's slender, but you know what? I was really surprised when I saw him in the clubhouse. He's 6'3". He's 6'3", 200-pounder.
28 homers in 2015, 21 homers in 16, 23 homers last year. Carpenter's played second, third, and first for the most part of the big leagues. And he just took a 4-pitch walk. So the lineup card flips to the top of the order now with Wong, Martinez, and DeYoung lurking in a 7-3 game. Minter has 2 on and 1 out. It is Matt Carpenter, but Minter did walk the left-hand hitter. Braves fans, Division Series tickets for the 2018 postseason went on sale this morning. Don't delay in securing your postseason tickets today. To get your seats for potential home games in the playoffs, visit braves.com/postseason. So that's the first walk issued by the Braves relief corps. Touki Toussaint walked 3 in his 5 2/3 innings. Touki in line to win this game if Atlanta can secure 2 more outs. Kolten Wong 0 for 4. He's hitting to a double play. Another one would be nice.
You know, many times when you're down, at least in the old days, you'd take a strike, make the guy throw you a strike if you were behind in the 9th inning. Wisdom hit the first pitch to right field for a base hit, which gave me the impression that these guys are not going to be taken. They're up there hacking. So even though it's 1-0 here to Wong, if he gets a good pitch to hit, I figure he's swinging. And hopefully he'll get a good pitch to hit.
Just missed. Fans starting to get on Minter right now. I can tell you, as a pitcher in your home park, frustrates you a little bit. 1 pitch away from a double play here.
Braves bullpen is busy as Minter turns loose at 2-0. Will he have the green light? We're about to find out. There's a strike. 3-1. Little country hardball right there. Turn it loose, kid. 3-2.
Absolutely. Don't need any trickeration.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Did he go?
Yeah.
No swing.
That was a good pitch.
I did too. So Kolten Wong draws the walk. Back-to-back walks to left-hand hitters. Load the bases for St. Louis. And now you've got Martinez and DeYoung coming up.
Cut fastball up in the zone, just above the strike zone. Did he go?
I thought he did.
I did too.
So how big is Tyler Flowers' home run looking right now? Martinez will stand in the batter's box. He has had a very impressive series.
This is another case, though, guys, where the Braves have these good arms in the bullpen, but they're inexperienced. They haven't been here. They haven't done this. And with a 4-run lead, you want strikes, you want outs. You don't want any messing around with deep counts. Absolutely challenging the middle of the plate.
And this is one of those situations where those who say, well, the final 3 outs are no different than the ones in the 4th inning. How about the final 3 outs in September being different from April, May, and June? I think the Braves are finding that out this month. Minter's certainly finding that out here against St. Louis. Leadoff hit, a fly out, back-to-back walks, and now Martinez up. He's a lumbering runner. If you get a ground ball, you should be able to double him up.
He also had a good day and swung the bat really well.
And a good choice there. He was geared for the heat and didn't get it. Strike 1. (7-3) Atlanta, but St. Louis threatening with 1 out in the 9th. Martinez helped him out there. That was well off the plate. 0-2.
What was that? Took something off like a changeup.
The last 2 have been.
Board says changeup. Kind of a screwball action to it.
He's turning it over. Those are the last 2 pitches. When you're expecting the 91 to 95 mile an hour cutter, because that's what the scouting report shows. Nice when you can pull the string.
Serve down the line, but curling foul. Long look in by Minter. No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. There's an explosive pitch. He turned that one loose. A cutter is cut on and missed. And the Braves are an out away in the 9th.
Nice stop by Tyler, too.
You see the cut grip on the side. Almost a slider because it breaks so much. Excellent selection after throwing away 3 times in a row.
So all that stands between Atlanta and a win is Paul DeYoung, their shortstop, who doubled his last time up. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
This guy scares me to death.
Yes, sir.
2 homers, 2 doubles in this series. Hitting the ball right on the nose.
He has 4 career homers against the Braves in 6 games. Yikes, indeed. No balls and a strike.
Little drama in the 9th. Guys, I'm feeling more tension than earlier waiting for the answer on that replay. Come on, AJ.
Well, that was a good result. Let's hope this is too.
Wisdom, Carpenter, and Wong the runners. And the 1-1 pitch. Got that corner called. It's 1-2. So he's throwing the changeup for strikes. He's had a good fastball. He's got that devastating cutter to a right-hand hitter. What is the choice here?
I got to go with my best pitch. For him, his best pitch is his cutter.
We're about to find out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And here it comes. Little pop. That should do it. Freddy is there, and the Braves have won a huge game. Atlanta 7, St. Louis 3. That is your final. That trims the Braves' magic number to win the East to 6. It could be 5 with a little help from Noah Syndergaard and the Mets in a game that gets underway in about 2.5 hours in Philadelphia. Big day for Freddy Freeman. He reached base 4 times, was 3 for 3, a homer and 3 RBIs. Tyler Flowers had 2 extra base hits. And fellas, the Braves have their 84th win, and they win the season series against the Cardinals here at home.
It was a much needed win, as you said. I wouldn't call it a desperate situation to win, but it was feeling that way. And lo and behold, it's a kid who steps up and gives the Braves a good start, Touki Toussaint.
Absolutely needed that from Touki. He challenged St. Louis hitters from the get-go. Not many walks in this one. The way they won this game was very, very needed. We'll see if there's some carryover.
So Atlanta 7, St. Louis 3, the magic number 6. The lead in the East is 6, pending the outcome of play in Philadelphia a little later on. No bloopers, but a couple of blasts for Atlanta. Talk about Atlanta's Game 3 victory on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. That's coming up right after this.